Hi, and welcome to another episode of Show and Tell. My name is Ashley, and I am Ash Love Nerds here. This is a yarny video or podcast, or however you want to call it. It is that. And all the links to my social medias are going to be in the description box below. There's going to be a little subscribe over here. And if you want, you can subscribe. You don't have to if you don't want to, but you can. It's free. And I do recommend to press the little bell because I do these videos monthly. I have explained why before, so I'm not gonna go through that. But anyways, I am here to talk about finished objects, so let's get started. First finished object, it's what I'm wearing. Shock, right? I made this beautiful thing. I'm having a little trouble with my camera. It's being super slow, but this is the Up North cardigan. I do not know the designer, but yeah. It recommends that you do it with a DK yarn and a 6.5 millimeter crochet hook. I used a 4 millimeter, a 6 millimeter crochet hook, and a 4-ply yarn, worsted weight yarn. It is Heartland by Lion Brand in the color Black Canyon. The neck piece is crocheted separately, and then it's not whip stitched, or is it? No, I think it's like mattress stitch, crochet mattress stitch together. Is it? Yeah, I think that's what you do. You mattress stitch it or whip stitch it. I think it's whip stitch. I am not sure, guys. I forgot what you do exactly, but you get the point. It's supposed to have pockets, but I decided I am not going to do any pockets because I really don't use them. So yeah. Here we go. And at the bottom, it doesn't have any ribbing or anything, so it's just that. I'm dressed in all black, but you can see the difference of tone because this black is a little lighter than the black I'm wearing underneath. But I love it. It covers my butt, which is awesome. And I'm going to sit down now. So yeah, this pattern is very easy to follow. It's very intuitive. It's done all with half double crochets, and it is awesome. I love it so much. It's very warm. It's very nice for this weather up here. It's good, and I love it. Gonna hear barking because my dog is a psychopath. So yeah, I dealt with the situation, and I'm back. Probably you didn't notice because I cut it, but yeah. The other thing, I even forgot what I was talking about. What I was talking about? Do you remember, guys? Can you tell me? The other thing is, yeah, it's very easy to make, easy to wear. I love it. I love it. I love it. I did not use the weight of yarn that I was supposed to, but I love it, and this is what I had left. So I believe it was enough for the pockets, but I wasn't gonna wear them anyway, so I was like, okay, let's put it in the scrap bin. As I emptied the scrap bin, this one is going in there. Yeah. And I did not want to buy any more yarn to make this. I want to use yarn from my stash that I have sweater quantities. It used exactly 6.5 balls of yarn. I did the small size, but as I used a thicker weight of yarn, even though I used a smaller crochet hook, it ended up being larger. So it's kind of like a medium size in between small medium. And I love it because I like slouchy things on me, even though I'm very short. Yeah, so that's that. Other thing I finished was the Mia and Dia pattern by Red Heart Yarns. I did another Little Mermaid. This one has lips, nose, and everything because Rose wanted her like that. And I did, instead of the wig cap, they tell you to crochet and then sew separately. I made it all together and then I sewed the hair in the back like that. I used the same color for the swimming suit as the other one. The skin color is Red Heart Super Saber Beige, I believe, or Sand. One of those. And this is Red Heart Super Saber Bright Pink. It's very bright, as you can see. But if I put my hand here, you can see a little bit better the color it is. And then I use Vanna's Choice in Aqua and Aquamarine. So this one is Aqua, I believe, and this one is Aquamarine. And yeah, super excited, super happy to have finished this one and not show it to you guys in pieces. The other thing I changed from the pattern, instead of putting straws in her arms, was putting pipe cleaners so she can have some motion in her arms and in her legs. As you can see, she stays wherever you put her at. So, pretty cute. This is a trick I learned recently on how putting pipe cleaners on amigurumis, and I am obsessed. Yeah. Other things I have finished are yarny things. So I dyed all this yarn. This one was blue and I dyed it with red cherry Kool-Aid a little bit. I just added a little bit to give it some depth. Not death. Depth. Oh, God. And yeah, it was all blue and I needed a little pop of color. Though red, and so it looks kind of purplish because red and blue make purple. Just if you didn't know. And then there is this one. This one was the Easter basket by Nicole Huloco. And it was, if you've seen it on Instagram, this one used to be a very baby pink. I'll show you. I'm not gonna find it. Okay, here we go. This was the original colors. These are the colors I have now. So this one used to be the pink. It was dyed with cherry red. Then I added some pink food coloring, red food coloring. This one was dyed with Kool-Aid. The blue one, I forget what is exactly the flavor. This one was dyed with Kool-Aid as well. So you don't need vinegar, even though I soaked them with water and vinegar, just a teaspoon, to kind of like get it started. Because the juice already has citric acid, so it will really penetrate in there. And the color will absorb a lot. The one that bled a lot was the red one, as the red molecules are bigger, yeah, than other colors. It takes a little longer to absorb, and that's why when you dye your hair red, it's just pours out of your hair really fast. Yeah. And this is the gray that came in the set. That it is, I left it just as it was. I didn't do any changes to it. And I love it a lot more. And I already have a pattern that I'm going to use this for. The other thing I finished was this. I made my own yarn. I am so happy, you guys. Super happy. This was wool that I dyed 2 years ago for my husband to play with a spindle. And he kind of played with it, but then he stopped. And why did I get started with this? Because I dyed it myself. I knew something was kind of wrong with the fiber. I'm not an expert fiber dyer, guys. I play with yarn, but your fiber by itself, it's a little sticky situation. You have to be careful because it felts really fast. And I felted this fiber. I knew it. I remembered how it felt, and I have looked at it because the bag was there for 2 years in my husband's drawer in his office. So I saw this video from Kim Knits that she was telling how to spin felted fiber. And she divided it, and she what was it? She pre-drafted the fiber as much as she could so it would be easier for her to spin it. And I was like, I can do this. I can do this. So I looked up a video. I took apart the fiber, the roving. I took it apart. It was pretty sticky because it wasn't extreme as the video she was showing. You know, it wasn't as extreme as the fiber she was showing, but it was pretty tight. So I had to like shred it and then make a little nest. Is that what you call bundles? Nest? I don't know. I don't know all fiber terms. So I did a little nest and I put it in the bag. And then the ones that I was going to use, as I looked up a video on how to spin, I drafted, and then I started spinning. So I've been doing the spinning where you spin from the inside. I've been spinning with my thigh. So I've been rolling the spindle in my thigh towards me, and then for plying, I've been spinning it on the other side. You counterclockwise I spin, and then I ply clockwise, something like that. That's what the video said. So that's what I did. But my problem is that my spindle is very small, and to ply this yarn that was thick and thin, it had problems because the groove is pretty thin, as you can see. This one right here is a lot better than the one than this one, but this one is not as felted as, and this one I didn't dye, it was a gift. And I'm using it, and I am pre-drafting it, and it's coming along really awesome. I have fiber, guys. Yes, if you don't remember, I had subscribers and friends who gifted me fiber for thrummed mittens, which I never got to it, but I'm saving some fiber to do those mittens because they're coming. One day they'll be done. You'll see. But I am excited that I bought this for $20, this spindle. My husband never used it, and I actually finished the yarn that he tried to start. I finished this in like 3 days. I made yarn, and I was like, hell yeah. I was so excited. I'm very excited about it. And the only thing is I need a spindle with a longer stick in the middle so I can ply the yarn, because it's very hard to ply the yarn myself. Oh, and I wound this without a nitty knotty. I saw a video on how to wound hand spun yarn with your hands and your feet. So you just cross your leg on top of the other one, put your hand like this, and then use your hand and your feet to wrap the yarn and use it as a nitty knotty. And I'm like, I'm going to use that. I don't have to buy any nitty knotty right now because I'm experimenting. I don't know if this is gonna be for me or not, but I have made yarn, you know. I think this is yarn, and you're gonna see. I was waiting to show it to you guys because I'm going to crochet a cowl, a little cowl, like very chunky. Oh, it's gonna be so pretty. My goal with spinning, oh, and this is the bag that I made for him. It has kind of this lining on the inside that is slippery and the fiber will not attach. I got this tip from the Freakish Lemon podcast. He made a bag, I believe, for his sister Gabby, with kind of like this fabric. I know you can use silk, but this is not silk. It's kind of chiffon fabric, I think. It's still pretty expensive fabric. It will not stick. It sticks to the outside fabric, this cotton. But if I redo this drawstring bag, it would be like the bags I do now for sale. And it will never touch this. It will never have cotton on the inside. So it will all be this on the inside. And it will be like showing up. It will be much better. So I don't know if I have this fabric or I gifted it or something. I don't remember exactly. But yeah, this is where I keep my stuff. My purpose with spinning. I don't think I'm ever going to be one of those spinners that spins amazing, beautiful yarn that looks out of a mill or something like that, or even better. I like the thick and thin look. I like the handmade chunky look. I think it is beautiful. It's artistic. And I am a very artsy person. And I love this. And yeah, don't you expect me to make anything to look perfect and pristine, because that is not going to be my aesthetic ever. Yeah. So pretty. Oh, and this roving was from Knit Picks. I think it's wool the Andes, so it's 100% wool. But it doesn't feel awful at all. Not one bit. Feels really nice. Is it wool the Andes? I think it is wool the Andes. I had another one with silk, but I gifted that one to Alex. Because I was like, I'm never going to use this. I'm never going to dye this. Probably he'll have some fun with that. So, yeah, I gifted it to him when he was in Colorado. Other things I'm working on. Works in progress. The Wonder Woman shawl is still a work in progress. I added this section right here to both sides. I haven't been working on this because I'm working on my mother-in-law's thing. It's a jacket. I'm working on that. Probably that is going to be on hold until I get my new hook. So I'm probably going to be working on this. But this is a thing that you cannot watch TV. You cannot look at your phone. You cannot do any of those things. You have to be concentrated here in county. I had a lot of problems, which I have explained before, with this part right here with the counting and then adding the yellow right here with the spaces, because it's not precise in the pattern and the letters are very close together and they're pretty small and very close together. So I have to use a paper, as I told you before. I use the white paper to divide and then another paper underneath to actually know exactly where I am, because the letters are very tight. It's a free pattern. What you gonna do? It is pretty, it's well written. It's just a space. And for me, I have been wearing glasses since the 4th grade. And my vision is very bad. I can't focus on reading things like for long periods of time because the letters tend to run. I tend to see them move. So yeah, they don't run. It's just my eyes. But I had a problem in one of these new sections, that I ended up with one more stitch. And I counted it. I ripped it out. I read the part underneath. And I was like, I redid the part underneath, see if I was wrong. It came out the correct amount of stitches. Then I started the other part and and the pattern was telling me that I needed this amount of stitches that I did not have. I did have, but I had one more stitch that was not supposed to be there. And I'm like, dude, what am I doing wrong? Because I have counted this like 6 times. I have ripped it out, counted it again, and I don't know, what am I doing wrong? Because this pattern makes you count every row, literally. So you had to breathe in, exhale, anxiety, inhale peace, and don't forget to not freak out and throw your project away. Yeah, because I was about to throw it away in the trash. I was like, I'm giving up right now. So instead of giving up, I fudged it. I just did a decrease, and boom, problem solved. The count was correct. That extra stitch just disappeared. You get tired of ripping and counting, ripping and counting, ripping and counting, and it's not the same as in the paper. So I was like, whatever, I'm just gonna eliminate. And if I need an extra stitch in another part of the pattern, I'm just gonna do 2 together, increase, and done. It's crochet. So can you see where I decrease? No, you cannot. You cannot. So just fudge it. Just fudge it. That's what I recommend with this pattern. If you find something and you're tired of ripping out, fudge it, because it's horrible. Other thing I am working on is this pattern. That's a Wonder Woman wrap, and I'm using Knit Picks palette yarn, which is 100% wool, and it is a 1-ply, a fingering weight yarn. Yes, that's what it is. There we go. I remember. I am doing the Spider Lace Jacket by Red Heart Yarns. Here you can see a picture of the back. It's going to be really pretty. This yarn, the Red Heart Luster Sheen yarn, is discontinued. So I am using Loops and Threads Wool-like in the color Ivory, and it is 85% acrylic, 15% nylon. It is a 1-ply, but it's a thinner weight. So because this pattern recommends a sport weight yarn, I plied 2 together, and there wasn't a lot of the same dye lot. I have 3 of the same dye lot, and the rest are different dye lots. So I decided that the 3 that were the same, I'm going to apply them with the other dye lots so they look more cohesive, and I don't have a abrupt color change in the pieces. Look at me using big fancy words. So this is what it looks like. I am using, what is it, a 4mm crochet hook, and I believe, and obviously this needs to be blocked because this is supposed to look like this. So this is going to be pinned and steamed and then crocheted or sewn together, depending what the pattern recommends. So yeah, I think it's beautiful, and I think my mother-in-law is gonna love it. It's beautiful. I did change that the pattern suggests that this one right here be 13 chains. I did 11 because it was being too, in this part right here of, this is the beginning, you see the chain right here is weird looking. Like if I stretch it, it'll be fine, but then the chain underneath was like really wobbly and gross, and I was like, nope. So I changed that, and it's looking more like how I want it to look. I'm working on panels. You have to do 2 panels for each shoulder, and then a panel for the center back, and then you do all the details and all that. So that's what I'm working on right now. I hope to finish this whenever I have the hook that I need for it, because the hook I'm using is killing my fingers. So I need a new hook. And is that all? No. I am working as well on a amigurumi. I'm making Eric, the little fox, right here. But I am using Red Heart with Love and Karen 1 pound together and a 5mm crochet hook. And the pattern suggests a DK yarn and a 2.5 something. It's really small hook. So he is much bigger than the first one that could fit in my hand as well, but he could fit like in the palm, like right here. This one I have to open my whole hand. So it's gonna be really big, and I'm excited. I might not have enough of the Karen 1 pound, but I don't care if his limbs end up being a different color. I'm fine with that. I think what I want to be the same color are his tails and his ears. Obviously his ears. But probably I'm gonna make his ears together and then make the tail and then see if I have enough for his arms and legs to be the same color. Because right now you can see a blob of color, but in person you can see the Karen 1 pound is a little bit more orange, and then the Red Heart with Love, it's a little bit more soft orange. That's what I could say, like pastel-y, more pastel. So yeah, that's what I'm working on. Things I have purchased, the Red Heart yarn, it's called Papaya. The other one, I really don't know what it's called. I forgot because the label has been lost in a while. It's an old yarn. I just have a lot of the same color in my stash. And I bought these crochet hooks. I bought these crochet hooks from AliExpress. They're Tunisian crochet hooks. I bought these because I'm going to make a TL yarn pattern that is Tunisian. I have Tunisian crochet hooks, but they're bamboo and they're short. They are, what can I tell you? I've been with them. They've been with me 10 years, and I have used them twice. So I was going to buy a Knit Picks a Tunisian crochet hook, but I know I was not going to use it as much. So I was like, let's buy a whole set for the amount of one hook instead. I know I'm going to have trouble because this thing right here doesn't slide at all. So I'm going to be fighting with this, I know. But I'm going to do a review and let you guys know the price, exactly the price. How did I like them, if they're worth the money or if they're not. And if you're gonna be like me, that you're just gonna use them every once in a blue moon, I think you're gonna be fine. They come in bamboo as well, but I like the ones with the little colorful cables. There we go. And then I bought these puffy paints from Walmart. I have this green and blue. This is a lime green, and yeah, lime green and blue. These other three, yellow, silver, and aquamarine or turquoise blue. I have a pink as well that I got. This is gold, like forest green, orange, red. I got all of these for 10 cents each at Walmart. Some of them were marked for 10 cents, and some of them were regular price. Obviously, I think they're like kind of taking out some of the older colors and then putting new inventory. But I bought some and they were all 10 cents, so I was like, yeah, this is awesome. So I went back and I got the other colors that I wanted. But then when I went to pay them out in the self-checkout, they were more than the price they were marked at. You know, they were more than 10 cents. So I was like, I told the lady, I don't want these at all because I'm just going to take the turquoise. I think it was 10 cents. And because it's coming up as 10 cents, and I bought all these other ones that were 10 cents. So she was like, oh, this is not fair. So I'm going to take all of these out, and then I'm going to scan this and blah, blah, blah. And she did her magic in the machine, and I got all of them for 10 cents. So I was like, thank you so much. And I'm like, dude, I just bought all of these for like $1.98. All these, plus a pink one for $1.98. And I was like super, super happy. I was like, score. Score. Yeah. Super happy and excited to get a good deal. And that's it. That's all I have to show you guys for today. I hope you guys have an amazing month. And remember to press the little bell because I am just posting every once a month videos. And I hope to see you next time. And as always, remember to do what you love. Bye!